Curvy is attractive, not fat. It looks good to be curvy
Women
and have a
having
little bit
body
of weight,
hair,
but if there's
it
flaps
grows
in your
just
face,
as
unattractive
naturally
things
on
would be
men.
septum rings.
A man tells his wife to keep fit and clean, to lose weight and belly fat. What advice would you give to both the man and the woman? My advice to the man, hit the gym first and lead by example. Look in the mirror, ya akhi. MashaAllah, do you think you are? Arnold Schwarzenegger? Mr. Universe? If you want Miss Universe, you have to be Mr. Olympia. You can't demand your wife to be something when you yourself are not even as close.
So if it wasn't clear, I'll be drawing quote-unquote unattractive women by Reddit reply standards starting with this guy.
Curvy is attractive, not fat. It looks good to be curvy and have a little bit of weight, but if there's some flabs, then you're fat and it's unattractive. Some more attractive things would be septum rings, buzz cuts, and too much makeup.
So firstly, I read this like. Secondly, you can be curvy and plus-sized at the same time. Thirdly, flabs or rolls aren't exclusive to chunky queens, kings, or nobles because, hear me out there, may or may not be organs in your stomach. At first, I read buzz cut as pixie cut. Both are cool, but one's not related. I could somewhat get too much makeup, but fake eyelashes and lip gloss. Really? Sounds like someone's allergic to a baddie. Now the septum ring hate is so forced and I'm starting to see a pattern, so I'm going to remind everyone that piercings are not inherently sexual. Buzz cuts aren't my cup of tea, but I really like when they have designs. I feel like you have to have a really good shaped head for it to work perfectly though, but that goes for any kind of shaved head. This is also one of the first times I've drawn someone plus-sized, but not because of crackhead beliefs, but because I mostly draw myself. Which, to be honest, isn't an excuse, but let me clarify. To make one singular 3-minute fully animated story video, I have to draw myself and others with different expressions and angles, etc., for over 3 hours. Though when I'm not drawing myself, my forte is centered around drawing for art, so this was a good time to improve my skill at drawing autonomy. I knew from the very beginning that this was going to be an alternative baddie. However, I had a brain fart, so my execution isn't as good as I thought it would be with their outfit. It's like when you get the perfect idea in a dream of something you could write, draw, or create, but when you get to your sketchbook, all of a sudden it doesn't look as cool or as close as it did while you were dreaming. For some reason, I just love accessories. They really just make a bland outfit 10 times better in every way. I actually went back later on to render more because the goal was for me to sketch not the whole shebang, but I did it on the next girl subconsciously and didn't realize till it was too late, so I went back to upgrade. So here's the end of our first girl, and though I have my ex, I like how she came out, and if you have any tips on how I could get better at drawing plus-sized people, definitely leave it down below. RBF or resting biscuit face. Unless you have the supermodel glare going. This one is just ridiculous to me, but who am I to judge? On bonus, I decided to give her a thigh gap and hip dips, but let me highlight the word try. Also, this comes up when you type in thigh gap. At first, I was confused until I found a way around. And let me say to anyone with anorexia or any appearance issues, there's always going to be someone who would kill to look like you, and there's always going to be someone who thinks you're the apple of their eye. I thought I was quite plump in 6th grade, and let's be real, I weighed like 110 pounds. One day, and weight came up in a convo, and my friend who was actually plump said, and I quote,
"Oh, me and your best friend know we're fat."
Then I looked at her, and she looked at me, then I realized I was a literal twig. And yes, I was heavily inspired by that one Monster High webisode where basically Macy says that her biggest insecurity was her feet, so she tried everything to hide them from the guy she liked, but he ended up not even noticing them because he liked her regardless, and that is so true. If someone else tells you to change or hide something, you can't use my 2 cents. Turn around and let them kiss your ass. And here's a deep life lesson. Don't fall in love with someone completely because of their looks, because beauty wears off, personality won't. Don't tell off your soulmate because they're not a 10. Did you know that when albino lads have red eyes, it's not because their iris are actually red, but because their iris is clear? So long story short, you're looking at blood cells. I don't know why, but I keep getting brain farts when it comes to the outfits, so bear with me because I drew whatever came to mind, plus it's currently October, so it shouldn't matter. It seems our second girl has come to a close. I think she turned out pretty good because I didn't procrastinate as much.
Eyes stalks. I'm sorry, but something about a woman looking in two directions at the same time is a bit of a turn-off for me.
So he said one thing, but I believe he meant another. However, lazy eye isn't even close to eye stalks, so I can't tell if he was just like an icky guy or genuine. Now, assuming this guy is talking about lazy eye, because according to Google, humans can't have eye stalks, which is pretty much obvious, we're gonna jump right into this. Feel free to leave tips, tricks, and suggestions below because I'm open to constructive criticism. Like if you're insecure about something, I'll happily draw it, or you for that matter. This girl is going to be drawn in a different style because I changed drawing apps and devices. I don't understand why people prefer Procreate. Like maybe the thing behind my big forehead isn't kicking in because it feels like a heavy downgrade from Ibis Paint. I need a burrito. I was looking on Pinterest for some hairstyles and bubble braids came up, so here we are. And unrelated, but I really want to try collabs, so if you can draw or have big brain ideas, hit me up. Shout out to the 4 people who always watch my videos. Her hair probably took the most time to draw, but it was definitely worth it to me. Like, look at the volume. Well, the third girl is coming to a close, and the white stuff on her arms is tattoos. I just choose for them to be white, so they show up better. I low-key might get white tattoos one day. I'm pretty happy with how she turned out, but this really highlights why I prefer Ibis Paint over Procreate. Like Afrolock is carrying my art style. Here's all 3 of these pretty women together, and I hope you enjoyed the video.